Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we're unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to PSA over a year ago. I just got them back in this box. They're professionally packaged for safety. Let me get them out of this box and we'll see what grades we got. Alright, let's go. Let's take a look at this 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Primeape, the number 43 card of the set. Looking at our front of the card, you can see that our centering from top to bottom is towards the bottom quite a bit. Our left to right centering looks pretty close to tolerance or spec. Our corners and our edges look really clean. I don't see any damage that will affect the grade. And there's no creases, bends, dirt, or damage on the surface or the graphics of this card. Flipping the card over and looking at the back of the card, you can see our centering problems continue here. The top to bottom centering is towards the bottom. Left to right centering looks within tolerance. Our surface and our graphics look really clean with no creases or bends. Finally, looking at our corners and our edges, all four corners have some damage and both the left and right edge have some damage. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 7. That's not too bad. I think it could have been a little better though. We're looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Rhydon, the number 45 card of the set. Looking at the front graphics of this card, they're very vibrant and bright. There's no damage or creases on the surface of this card. Our centering from top to bottom looks a little towards the bottom, and our left to right centering I think is towards the left. Our corners and our edges look really nice and clean. As we look at the back of the card, you can see our surface and graphics are clean. There's no creases or bends. Our corners and edges, I don't see any damage on them that'll affect the grade. And looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's towards the bottom, and left to right I think it's slightly towards the right. I think that'll take us down a grade. We'll see. And we'll get a grade of mint 9. That's what I thought we'd get. Here is a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Seaking, the number 46 card of the set. Looking at the front surface of this card, the graphics in the front surface are very vibrant. There's no problems with the surface. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, looks towards the top, and our left to right centering looks a little towards the left. Our corners and our edges look really nice with no damage. Flipping the card over and looking at the back, you can see our surface and graphics are clean. I don't see any bends, creases, or damage. Our centering from top to bottom is quite a bit towards the top, and left to right centering I think looks pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, both upper corners and the lower right corner have some damage, and there's some damage on that right edge. That's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. Not too bad. This is a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Tauros, the number 47 card of the set. Looking at the front graphics of this card, they're really clean. There's no dirt or grime. Looking at the surface, there's no creases or bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom, and our left to right centering looks a little towards the left. Looking at our corners and edges, I don't see any damage or fraying that'll affect the grade. The back of the card looks pretty good. There's no damage to the surface or graphics of the card. Our centering from top to bottom is definitely towards the bottom. The left to right centering I think is slightly towards the right. Looking at our corners and our edges, all four corners have some damage, and there is some damage down that right side edge. And we'll receive a grade of near mint 8. That's not too shabby. This card is a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Weepinbell, the number 48 card of the set. The colors on and graphics on this card are very vibrant. I don't see any creases or bends on the surface. Our centering from top to bottom is towards the top, and our centering from left to right I think is towards the right a little bit. Looking at our corners and our edges, they're very clean. I don't see any damage on them. As we look at the back of the card, you can see that the surface and graphics are clean. There's no creases or bends. Our centering from top to bottom looks a little towards the top. Left to right centering looks a little towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, you can see that the two upper corners and the lower right corner have some damage, especially that upper left corner, and there's some very slight damage I think down that right edge. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. Wow, these are older cards, so there's not much more I can expect. Take a look at this 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Bellsprout, the number 49 card of the set. The graphics of this card are very vibrant and bright. There's no creases or bends on the surface of the card. Our centering from top to bottom is definitely towards the top, and our centering from left to right is towards the right. Our corners and our edges look very clean. I don't see any damage on them that'll affect our grade. As we look at the back, you can see our surface of our card has no creases or bends. There's no problems on the graphics. Our centering from top to bottom is quite a bit towards the top. Left-right centering is towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, our upper right corner, and it has some damage, and there's some slight damage down that right edge. And that'll give us a grade of near mint 8 for a 23-year-old card. That's not too bad. Let's look at this 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Cubone, the number 50 card of the set. Cubone's graphics are very clean and bright. I don't see any creases or bends on the surface of this card. Our centering from top to bottom is towards the top, and our centering from left to right is towards the right. On our corners and our edges, I see no damage. That'll affect a grade. As we look at the back of the card, our surface is clean with no bends or creases. The graphics are bright with no dirt or damage. Our centering from top to bottom is towards the top, just like the front, and our centering from left to right is towards the right a little bit. Looking at our corners and our edges, our upper right corner has some damage, and there's some damage down that right edge. And Cubone is going to receive a grade of near mint 8. Could have been better, but it's okay. You are looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Eevee, the number 51 card of this set. Eevee's graphics are nice and bright. I don't see any dirt or damage on them. There's no creases or bends on the surface of this card. Our centering from top to bottom looks pretty close to tolerance, but it might be a little bit towards the top. Our left to right centering, though, is definitely towards the left a little bit. Our corners and our edges look really clean. I don't see any damage on them. As I look at the back of the card, you can see our graphics are clean. There's no bends or creases on the surface of this card. Our centering from the top to bottom looks a little towards the bottom, and left to right centering looks quite a bit towards the right. Looking at our corners and our edges, you can see that both upper corners has some damage, and there's some damage on that left edge. And that'll give us a grade of near mint 8. Not too bad for old Eevee. You're looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Exeggcute, the number 52 card of the set. If you look at the graphics of these eggs, you can see they're very clean with no dirt or damage. Our surface has no creases or bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it looks pretty close to tolerance. Our left to right centering, though, is a little bit towards the right. Looking at our corners and our edges, I see no problems or damage on them. As we look at the back of the card, our surface is clean with no dirt or damage, no creases or bends. Our centering from top to bottom is towards the top. Left to right centering is towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, both left corners have some slight damage. And that'll get us a grade of near mint 8. Old Exeggcute didn't do too bad. We have a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Goldeen, the number 53 card of the set. The graphic colors are vibrant and bright on this card. The surface has no creases or bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's really close to the tolerance. Our left to right centering is towards the left. Our corners and our edges are crisp and clean with no damage. I always check out the back, and so as we do, the centering from left to right is towards the right. Top to bottom centering looks really close to the tolerance. Our surface and our graphics are really clean with no creases or bends. Looking at our corners and our edges, they look really clean. I don't see any damage there, and that's pretty good. And our grade is going to be a mint 9. Goldeen did really good. Must have been the centering that took us to a 9. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked the cards I presented. Please like and subscribe, and remember, always remember, you got to catch them all. Have a great day.